Hey guys, good morning. So we have been exploring LinkedIn insights in the past week. This week, we're gonna continue looking at the LinkedIn insights. And the reason we'll continue doing this is because it is all about data, right? What are the information we can garner from LinkedIn that can help us to be able to improve our discoverability on LinkedIn, especially discoverability by recruiters and also discoverability by hiring managers. My name is Abiodun Oke of Serial Project Services. If you're hearing me for the first time, guess what, guys? We have been looking at LinkedIn for some times now. We've been looking at LinkedIn for the past 3 weeks, I believe, and you can see some of the things that we have covered so far. The LinkedIn profile, we covered it in the past 3 weeks, and we also looked at insights, which shows us some areas where we can gain insights to be able to improve on our LinkedIn discoverability by recruiters. So today we'll continue with that, and then we'll look at one other tool on LinkedIn that talks also about how we use our professional brand in connecting or expanding our network. That's it for now, guys. But do not forget to hit that button, please, if you are gaining insights from what I have been doing so far, exploring LinkedIn. Please hit on that notification bell and on that subscribe button. So we are going to be looking at my network. Okay, there's actually an interesting research that was conducted at the University of Stanford University, California, by a professor of sociology, where it was found that in that research that people who were able to reach out to their weak ties, the weak ties within their network, were able to get more opportunities than those who only reached out to those within their inner circles. So we're going to be using that insight into how the social network operates to improve how we work on LinkedIn, especially for newcomers in their location where they are based, because you want to quickly see how you can increase the number of people who are currently within your second degree connection, because this is where your opportunities are. It is not, more of it is with those who are within your second degree connection, and those are the people you want to see how you can connect with them immediately so that you can have access to those opportunities. And not only that, you're also able to gain discoverability by new people that are also, within their own network. So that is one thing we're gonna be looking at on LinkedIn today. And there is also this insight called the social selling index on LinkedIn. That is also another area where we can get some great insight, and we're going to be looking at that as well. Okay, let's get into it. So we're going to go back to my main profile, and then we go to my network. Actually, it's here. As you can see, it's right there. So now look at my network here. It's showing on the left side here. You can see the number of people I'm connected with, contacts, people I follow, groups. I sign on to these groups, hundreds groups, man. Events, pages that I follow, companies' pages, newsletters, and hashtags. These are all great sources of insights for you to be able to improve your LinkedIn profile or your engagement or your discoverability on LinkedIn. I used to recommend to people, if you have just about 500 in your location, that would be great for discoverability, because you want to be able to have some connections within your locality, right? That will really help. So the one thing I will do here is let's go for these filters here, and then if you are a job seeker who it's not been long that you've been in Canada, maybe 1 year, 2 years, thereabout. I mean, you need to look at this. Just look at the locations where you are, or just even search the number of people that are in Canada that you are connected with, people in your first degree connections, and click on show results here. You can see it shows me that I have 4,500 people. And I've looked at some people's network before, and it's really revealing the number of people that they have in their network, because what it kind of shows you is you're not really like in Canada. And when I look at some people's network, what I see is I see that the most of the people that they have in their network are still back home, like people who they have worked with in the past, who are really at their home country, right? So to be able to have engagement here in Canada, it is something that you really need to build your network to increase the number of people that you know here in Canada. And I've given some hints already. People who were in your school, who attended your school, attended your program in school, who are here in Canada, they are so easy to connect with. So you can go by doing this. Now, this is your first degree. You can actually you do second degrees to increase the number to people who are connected to whom you are connected with. And then you can then go and look for a company of interest to you. You can type it in and then search. And then to see people who are in Canada who are working in those organizations. And some of the things you can also do is you can search for people who attended your school, like this, for example. Those people are not in your look. For example, you see that I changed it to second degree connection, and what I'm trying to do is I want to increase the number of people that are in my first degree connection, because it helps my uh, engagement, and it helps my discoverability. So I'm going to look for people who attended my school, or who are those people who have worked in an organization I've worked in before, who are in Canada, and then I'm gonna search, and guess what? They will show up. Look at that. Even the president and vice chancellor of the University of Manitoba. I work at the University of Manitoba. So in that way, if I reach out to these people, it wouldn't be a big deal. If they have worked maybe in my department before, and I'm just reaching out to them, so these are the kind of things that I'm talking about. Look at, there's a guy here who actually was my former contractor. Like I could reach out and just connect with him based on that. Look, I work with you. I did this, I did that. I would really appreciate if we can reconnect, for any insights or opportunities that I can share with you. So these are ways you could rediscover people who you probably have had one kind of contact with or the other, and then you can bring them into your network here on LinkedIn. Okay, guys, let's look at the social selling index. So this is another great insight for anyone on LinkedIn, including job seekers. I know you might have it at the back of your mind. How does this have to do with job search? Well, this is a tool that everyone who is on LinkedIn trying to reach out to prospect use. And you're gonna find out later why I'm recommending that you look into this tool, because there are a lot of insights, that you can get from here. Now, if you are going to get here, you start from your LinkedIn, then click here, you see, click here and then go to the sales solutions. Then when you're here, go to the resources. There are then you go to social selling index, as you can see. Now it will show you this point, bring you to this page where you can then click get your score free. Yeah, so there you have it. You can see how I am scored. This is something that is basically um, developed by LinkedIn. So it has about four different components to it. very first one is about establishing your professional brand. Here I scored 22.5. As you can see, the other ones find the right people, again, engage with insights, build relationships. So these are the four components that makes up the score. It appeared that I scored more in the establish your professional brand. We're going to look at the contents there, what makes up that particular component, and then the other ones as well. Actually, you can see here it's showing the average in my network in terms of the SSI index. So average is 40 in my network, which means but there are a lot of people who are, I'm really doing better than a lot of people is what you're seeing there. Then here in my industry is actually showing 23, which is really low. But apparently I'm showing the higher education industry. So in that industry is showing that a lot of people are not really building their professional brand on LinkedIn. So why don't we go into the content itself? Like, what does these things entail? So let's look at this one first, the one which talks about establishing your professional brand. It's about increasing your visibility by posting and interacting with content. Isn't that what we have been talking about? How to get visibility. So here is an expert tip here. Share a well-written long form post related to your professional experience or industry trends. Okay, there are other options. Long form sometimes might not be something that you can really get out fast. So here are some other ones that you can use. Endorsing connections on LinkedIn often prompts them to return the favor. So you want to generate endorsement is what LinkedIn is saying here to be able to establish your professional brand. Let's look at this component of that social selling index quickly. Well, basically, it's about identifying better prospects. And when we talk about prospects when it comes to job search, we're talking about the hiring managers and recruiters, right? So you want to be more efficient in this way using some of the tools. The ones that we can readily use basically is the My Network, right? The one we looked at earlier. There are some, well, reasons here where you want to find the right people. Apparently, job seekers need to find the right people within their second degree network that you can bring into the first degree network. So here are some things you can do. You can use the My Network area. That's all you can do for now if you're not able to use the sales navigator that is being provided for salespeople by LinkedIn. You can leverage warm introductions to expand your network. Here is if you've been able to see people within your second degree connections looking at that My Network area, then of course you can reach out to people who you probably have some type of connections with. Those people who are we called people that are your weak ties. Weak ties because they attended your school at whatever point, but regardless, they were in the same school with you. They probably will be friends of your friends or something like that, or you probably have crossed paths with them at some events or things like that. So let's go to the next one here. It's talking about looking for commonalities. Where you probably will find a lot of commonalities be people who have the same type of professional characteristics as you. These probably will be things like they are PMPs or they have some type of certifications that are similar to yours. You want to look for these type of people and see how you can engage with them by learning what things are of interest to them that are common between you two. Take advantage of who's viewed your profile is another great one. Here you want to check out those who viewed your profile on LinkedIn. This is why you have to monitor these areas we've seen in one of our earlier review. Okay, so that's it for that. Let's go for the next one. This is another one to look at engaging with insights. Of course, the presentation we are talking about insights, right? LinkedIn insights. So here is another component of that social selling index and what it entails. Well, basically, engaging with insights helps you to discover and share conversation worthy updates to create and grow relationships. So, guys, it's about relationships. So why is it important to engage with insights? Here are some of these benefits which generally, LinkedIn speaks to their own prospects. Here is the reason why you see it's mostly focused on people who are, salespersons, but there are still some things you can gain from this as job seekers who are looking to also prospect on LinkedIn. So 64% of buyers report that they appreciate hearing from a salesperson who provides knowledge or insight. So here is a takeaway from here. You need to be able to provide some value on LinkedIn. It is not just enough to connect with people. You have to add value, is what they are saying here, and that will really push up, your engagement on LinkedIn. Also, it helps you to be able to get those reaching out. I mean, especially recruiters will be reaching out to you if they are seeing your level of engagement on LinkedIn. Either way, I mean, one way or the other, there are people who are looking at your profile and then they also can see this from their own, maybe their own first degree connections. Reps that exceed quota get 74% more engagement on their posts than those that don't exceed quota. So here, what you can take away from here as job seekers, it's about your post, the type of engagement that you get on your post. We directly relates to the type of insights that you would be able to see, maybe people who are recruiters or hiring managers. Share relevant resources to strengthen personal connections. Post relevant content that can help you become a trusted source of insight. So, exactly here is similar to what I'm doing here, sharing this content with my followers on LinkedIn, my connections on LinkedIn. Identify information for prospects that shows you care about their success, right? And tag them when you share. So that's very, very important. Stay in the know with Timely. Leverage industry data and news on LinkedIn to stay up to date. Find articles. So this is about sharing job seekers, right? Job seekers, you need to share information that you believe will be of value to your connections. You need to share. Also, leave thoughtful, constructive comments on content your prospects share or join LinkedIn groups to be able to participate in the conversations going on in these groups. That way, you're able to engage. So, you've heard it. Constructive comments, not just likes alone. The way you can really engage is by sharing very engaging comments. Always customize messages using relevant information you have learned about a person on LinkedIn. Here is one that is also very important when you're reaching out via LinkedIn messages. You need to look for relevant information that will help you to build trust. Don't go out there saying I'm looking for a job and reaching out to strangers and sending them your resume. Those really will not build trust. Basically, they will breach trust. Okay. Okay, here is about building relationships. What is it all about being on LinkedIn, anyways? It's about building relationships. So you want to strengthen your network by connecting and establishing trust with decision makers. Who are the decision makers when it comes to job search? Of course, hiring managers, recruiters, presidents and CEOs of startups and all that. Those are the decision makers. So these are also your prospects as job seekers. So here are the things you could do. First of all, building relationship. Why is it important? You know, it helps you with referral. If you're able to get people who can uh, you can build relationship with, those are sources of referrals, right? Of course. And then here is another one, and you have a favorable impression of a salesperson who was introduced to them through someone in their professional network. So you can also get introductions through this particular area. When we build the relationships, you get introduced. Just last week, somebody reached out to me. They are going for maybe interviewing a particular company and they would like to be introduced to another person who is currently on LinkedIn. So, these are the kind of things you will get from LinkedIn. Okay, and then building relationships as well. Connect with contacts. A larger network gives you greater leverage in finding new prospects and getting the door with clients. So there is one of the reasons why I talked about increasing your connection, especially within the city where you are located. Get it to about 500. That will really help you and help you get prospects, referrals, and introductions. Focus on building relationship with senior level people at your prospects and customers. This is also another great one. I mean, we're talking about social proof, especially for foreign professionals who are new here in Canada. You need to build that social proof, you know, being that you want people to be able to trust your competence, your expertise. So build multiple connection with decision makers, and that would really help. Connect internally and leverage teaming. Connect internally so your colleagues will be able to provide warm introductions. Use your company's network to uncover the best way to get introduced. Here for job seekers, you can look at the company pages where you'll be able to discover people that you really want to build relationship with, maybe in some of your target industries or target companies. Nurture relationship over time to keep your services top of mind. Here, also for job seekers, you want to nurture relationships. Just don't keep, people within your connections. And some of the easy way I do this here is by sharing updates or posts of people who are my target prospect, people who I'm building relationship with. Sometimes it's little things as wishing them congratulations. I mean, sending those little messages also can help them to keep you on top of mind. So that is the last one here I'm gonna touch on, guys. I hope this has been insightful for you. Hopefully, what we're gonna be doing next is really to go proper into how to build this professional brand on LinkedIn by first of all looking at the ways we can start creating content on LinkedIn. Okay, there's a lot of insights for you, especially if you're a job seeker who is new to Canada. Please subscribe. I'll be sharing more valuable content in these areas and in some other areas that we are looking into, or some of the content we're generating within my Supply Jobs Canada network. Thanks, I appreciate it, and see you next week.